What is going on, guys? Nando Prince 93 here with another video, and this is gonna be your last reminder, guys, for the Magic Trackpad 2 giveaway. I'm collabing with ShiftScreen, the guy who created the app that allows you to use a secondary display without the letterboxing for the iPad Pro. So give me a follow on Twitter, give him a follow on Twitter, and comment on the video that I'm gonna put on the iCard right here. And then that's all you guys need to do. We'll pick somebody from the comments from that video and then announce that winner on Twitter Tuesday at around noon. So give us a follow if you guys want to find out if you won, and let's get started with the video. So guys, yesterday we hit 6,000 subs on the channel, which is super awesome. So what I wanted to do was something a little more informal, do a little Q&A action. So I posted up both on Twitter and on YouTube, which you guys will see right here. And I use the YouTube poll system a lot to figure out what you guys want to see next. So if you guys want to, partake in those, always feel free to go to the channel and vote on whatever I post or whatever the case may be. And I'm pretty active on Twitter too. So if you guys ever try to communicate with me on Twitter, I'll be able to answer you. So wanted to see what kind of questions you guys had, and we're just gonna get started and kind of go from there. So first I'm gonna take some of the questions from the actual YouTube post, guys. So the first question that we're gonna answer is going to be from John Sebastian Malibranchi, or Malibranch. Sorry if I'm gonna be butchering names, guys, I apologize, but he wanted to know, how did you come up with the Nando Prince 93 handle? Will it become your page name or will it stay as Fernando Silva? So that's actually a funny question. So I want to say probably back in 4th or 5th grade, I still hadn't had an email. There was no need for a 4th or 5th grader to have an email at that time. It was probably 2005, 2006. And I literally went to my parents, went to my dad, and I was like, hey dad, I want an email. So he created a Yahoo email for me, and he came up with the name Nando, which is the back end of my full name, and then Prince because, well, I'm technically a junior because my dad's name is also Fernando. So Nando Prince, that's how the name came to be, and I've stuck with it for forever. It's been my username for a lot of stuff. And whether or not I'm gonna keep it, as of now, I'm gonna keep it. Why not? People know me as Nando Prince or Fernando, whatever the case may be. So that's what the origin of the Nando Prince 93 name came from. And then the 93 was just the year that I was born, because I did have just a Nando Prince and then a Nando Prince 93. So that's the origin of Nando Prince 93. So Memer Boy, he says, what do you do for your 9-to-5 job? So for my 9-to-5, honestly, it's more like an 8 to 6:30 at this point with all the work from home and what's going on. But I'm just an account executive for a human resources software company, so HR software company. I'm in sales, and my job is to go throughout my territory in Manhattan and sell our software and our values and our value add to companies that need us. So that's pretty much my job, guys. That's what I do from 8 to 6 every single day, Monday through Friday. And then I save the nighttime for you guys. Eduardo Hernandez, he wants to know where I'm from and if I speak Spanish. So I was born in Miami, down in Florida. My mom is Peruvian, my dad is Colombian. They were born in South America, and me and my brothers were born in Miami. So yes, I'm 100% fluent in Spanish. We moved to the Northeast, so the New Jersey, New York area when I was like 12, 13 years old, and been up here ever since. We do kind of miss Florida. We'll probably make it back there at some point, but that's where I'm from. I do speak Spanish, sí hablo español, and if you guys want, maybe I could try to make a video purely in Spanish for all the Spanish-speaking followers. I've seen people do that before, but I want to know what you guys think, so leave a comment below. And then Jarek also asked kind of the same question. Can you tell us where you're from and where I currently live? So again, from Miami, kind of raised in Central Jersey, and now I live in North Jersey with my wife, and we both work in Manhattan. But we're both working from home at this point, so we're kind of stuck in North Jersey. Agustaya says, which monitor do you suggest to be used for as an external display for the iPad Pro? I would honestly just use any display that you have laying around currently, because like I said, Apple still doesn't support or doesn't fully support a secondary display. It's just a mirror display. So until Apple does something with that, I wouldn't go out and spend $500 to $1,000 on a really nice like 32-inch or 42-inch widescreen, OLED gaming monitor. So whatever you guys have laying around, like I have this Acer. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's probably 3-4 years old at this point. I found it, or my brother gave it to me because there was a bunch laying around in my parents' house, and I just took it with me. But if you guys do want to get yourself a 27-inch, Acer's always a good brand. You can go to Best Buy and get something for $200. It'll work well. It'll last you a long time. If you guys can, get yourself a USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 capable monitor. Those are a lot more expensive. Those probably start at around $300 to $400, just because I think that's the way it's going to go eventually. So if you want to really future-proof yourself, and then also don't make the mistake I did. Get yourself a monitor that has some sort of built-in speaker, because this one does not have a built-in speaker, and every time I plug in an HDMI cable, the audio defaults to that monitor, and there's no speaker to give out audio on that monitor, so it always frustrates me. And then I either got to put my headphones in or get a Bluetooth speaker for it to actually work. Moostic says, what is your favorite Apple product? I'm holding it, guys. The 2018 iPad Pro is by far my favorite Apple product that has ever been released. And I have owned every single iPhone since the beginning. The only iPhone I've never owned is a XS, right? So I've owned literally from the 2G all the way through. I've owned a multitude of iPads, a few MacBooks, MacBook Pros, iMacs, Apple Watches, you name it, I've owned from Apple in my entire lifetime, and this thing by far is my favorite thing. It's basically what started this channel. Like, if there was no iPad Pro, I don't know if there would be a channel. So, Angel Rodriguez says, what's my 2020 goal? So goal for 2020, I don't know, at this point, kind of just stay safe, stay indoors, make sure we kind of help as much as we can to make sure we get back to normalcy, and just continue to grow this channel. You know, I'm enjoying doing this. It's been fun. You guys have seemed to really like what's going on. I like to post anything new that I find out about the iPad Pro or anything tech related or anything Apple related. So as long as Apple keeps releasing products, I'm gonna keep reviewing them, guys. Ooh, this is an interesting question. So I'm gonna try to get this name. I'm gonna put it up here. Abhinav Dingra says, would you ever add a Windows laptop to your arsenal? So I do have a Windows laptop. It is a work issued Windows laptop. So if I'm not at that company, I wouldn't have it. And the only reason I have to use it is because there is a lot of sensitive information on there. So I'm always VPN'd when I'm working from home. There's certain things that only work on that laptop itself, so I have to have it. And it's nice. Windows 10 is okay. It's definitely a lot better than Windows 8 or Windows Vista, Windows 7. And I've grown to use it because I've been using Windows computers for the last 2 years for my job. So I've gotten used to Windows. Windows is actually pretty good. It's just I'm so used to Apple and their ecosystem. I'd much rather go with the Apple side of it. And Windows computers, if you want to get a nice one, it's getting expensive. It used to be that the proposition used to be like, hey, you can get so much more for your money on a Windows computer. That's not really the case anymore. So if I have $1,000, I'm going to spend $1,000 on a Apple product versus a Windows product. Mo Kise says, I just recently discovered a YouTube channel and watched like 10 vids. Love your style. Welcome. I appreciate that. I'm also a mobile content creator who will be joining YouTube this summer. What mic do you use for recording? I just use a lav mic, which is right here. I got it at B&H for $50. I remember when I walked in there and I was like, hey, I have an iPhone, I have a YouTube channel, I want a microphone that attaches to my iPhone. And the lady said, oh yeah, let me get you a lav mic, it's $15. Well, that's what I thought I heard. So I was like, all right, perfect. It ended up being $50, and then I had to buy the 3.5 millimeter jack, 2 lightning cable to be able to plug it into the iPhone. So it's kind of expensive for what it is, but it's lasted me a decent amount of time, and it even has a couple chew marks from my dog, and it's still alive. So lav mic is what I use, but there's also a bunch of different studio mics you can get under $100 that will really work well as long as it works within your workflow. Ooh, and then this is another good question that kind of coincides with what I do from 9 to 5. So Sindhuchan Rajeskar says, I'm just curious what else you do for work apart from making YouTube videos, and how and if you use your iPad for that. So like I said, I work for an HR software company, and yes, even though I have a Windows computer dedicated for that job, I use my iPad with that iPad, or I use this iPad with my Windows computer, because there is a lot of note taking that I use with the Apple Pencil. I use OneNote, so it syncs into my actual Windows computer seamlessly. So the main reason I use this iPad is we're doing a lot of learning stuff, so my work application works on the iPad really well. So I'm able to do all that on the go, or quickly like on the couch and not have to have a computer on me. And also for a lot of note taking. I take a ton of notes, whether it's in the classes that they give us at work, or with a client, or within the office, or whatever the case may be. I take all of my notes on here. I've not used a single piece of paper since I started at my new job, so pretty proud of that. And then 2 more questions, guys. These are from Twitter. This is from Simply Textured. How do you consistently come up with iPad Pro content? Honestly, it's pretty tough, guys. There's only so much that I can talk about with the iPad Pro, but every few days I discover something new about it, which is awesome. So, and Apple consistently pushes out updates, even if it is just like a minimal version, or like a 0.0.1 adoption or software update. Something always is tweaked within the software. So that's what kind of keeps me with content. And there's also an abundance of apps and productivity apps and games that I can review. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. And then the iPad continues to evolve. So there's always something to talk about as to what that vision for the iPad is moving forward, not only for Apple, but for the consumer and what they want it to be. So that was a good question, I appreciate that. And then another really good one was, Win Anytime 247 says, how do you see the iPad evolving in the next 5 years, or is this the peak? Oof. So, I mean, if you guys are following me, I'm sure you've seen that video that MKBHD did. I'll put it up here of if we reach peak smartphone. I 100% agree with him. We have reached peak smartphone. Everything is a slab of glass. It's a rectangular shape. Sure, now we're getting all this folding stuff, but it's not ready for, like, nobody can recommend you go buy a folding phone if you wanted it to last over 2 years, because we don't know what that looks like. So right now we've reached peak smartphone. In terms of tablet and iPad, I don't really know what else they could do. Maybe, I mean, they could always shrink the bezels, but I kind of like how there's a little bit of a bezel anyway, so I can put my thumb and there's something for me to hold on to when I'm holding it just like this. They could maybe make Face ID a little bit better, maybe add in-display fingerprint readers. Cameras I don't really care about. The only thing that I can see is that the software keeps evolving. The hardware is going to stay the same. In my opinion, it's going to be a slab of glass. Maybe it'd be cool if it could fold and you can kind of put it in a little bag and kind of take it on the go. But if this does begin to fold, I need it to be sturdy. Like, I would need this to be a sturdy device. If not, I'm not going to like it. But in terms of evolution over the next 5 years, it's going to be all in the software. So Apple's going to allow this to be. It's kind of how the iPhone slowly began to take over enterprise level, like mobile computing. So before, everything was BlackBerry, right? Every company issued their employees a BlackBerry. And then as time went on and BlackBerry and RIM started to disappear, people in offices started issuing iPhones. So I think we're going to get to the point in the next 5 years, these are the kind of things you're going to see. You're going to see companies issuing iPads as opposed to Windows laptops. You're going to see people working and docking just their iPad onto their docking station, just going boom, docked, and then everything kind of gets taken over by your 16 screens that you have on your wall. So I just think this is going to be the final thing that people are going to need from a computing standpoint, and that's why I love the iPad. It's going to be continuing to evolve, and mostly from a software standpoint. The hardware, from a looks perspective, can't get much better in my opinion. I mean, everything can get better technically, like it could be better metal, better aluminum, louder speakers, thinner bezels, OLED screen, but you're going to see the most evolution from the software over the next 5 years, in my opinion. So that's pretty much all the questions that I have for you guys. I really do appreciate you guys being engaging, asking these questions. We got a bunch of them, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for 6,000 subscribers. Like I said, if you guys made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. All the info will be in the description. That's gonna do it, guys. I know it's a long video, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace, guys.